So we can chant Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamivo Avashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, all those that are invisible are filled with Brahman. All those that are visible are also filled, permeated by Brahman. The whole universe has come out of that whole Brahman. Brahman is still full, although the whole universe has come out of it. Om, peace, peace, peace. So we have once read this book, but nothing has gone into here. It has come to this and come to that. Normally it happens like that, unless one is seriously the manana, reflecting upon, and nididhasana, deep contemplation. The reading of the book is not the book reading. It is to blend into our life. It should pulsate in our heart and soul. The truth should pulsate. So, as we have read the other day, I am now second time reading, means it's in a synaptic reading. It is not that individual parts we are focusing much, but we are to recapitulating, we can say. It is called the chewing the card, no? The cows do that, after that chew the card. That is the same thing. As a step to your manana, Shravana. Shravana you have heard, listen, and hearing and Shravana is a different word. Hearing is we hear and we remember, forget. Shravana means the hearing with attention, listening. Better word is, the appropriate word will be listening. So listening this very truth, and then reflecting on that deep, 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 and then disassociation with this material and the spiritual happens, and the spirituality then reveals inside. Nididhyasana. That's the Vedantic term. So we have read the other day a few verses. This Upanishad is one of the brightest and beautiful Upanishadic truth, which declares the very fundamental question of human existence. Very fundamental question is that King Karanam, what is the cause of this creation of this world? It is Brahman, one absolute, undivided, absolute truth. Is that the cause? Kudasma Jata, where do we come from? We are not there. Say, everyone we here sitting before your date of birth. Where are you? Before coming to mother's womb, where were you? Or you came out of some nothing. Kudasma Jata. From where? Which is the source? Where they come from? And now it is there. And then Kutasma, Brahma, Kutasma Jata, Jivamo Keno. Why shall I live in this life? And what is the purpose of this life? What we are doing? What is the main intention of our very living in the world? It's a very fundamental question. Really, and then where it stands now. Where do I come from? What am I? And where am I standing on? On what? Why you are breathing? Why are you doing all efforts of human existence? Jivama Kena. Udhisthita Kena. By whom? We are controlled. Who controls our life? If it is our control, we could have done whatever we liked. Where is our control? Then I am not controller. Who controls? Who controls our very life and existence and happiness and miseries and cycles of births and deaths? What is going on? Who is controlling all this? This fundamental question. Keno sukhe tareshu vartamai. Why? In the happiness and in misery, eh? Who is controlling us? And it is to be why we obey the order of that unseen reality. No? Some may say it is time. With time it happens. Many philosophical answers may be given. Where do I come from? Well, in time we have born, in time we will die. In time the earth was not here. In time the earth has come. The sun was here, another sun came. In time it came. So you can give some such different explanations of it, that it is nature, it is nature of the thing. It is the energy, matter. Some say it is matter, material thing. Some say it is the energy, it is the intelligence. So some say it is the combination of all this. So these are the different excuses or explanations given. The self alone is not free agent, being under the sway of happiness and misery. And we cannot say that we are free because we are under the sway of happiness and misery. We're always pulled up. Now these questions were raised, and the sages then tried to find this solution. Te dhyano yoganugata upasyan. They went into meditation, went dive deep into their own self, and then they found some truth there. Te dhyano yoga anugata upasyan. They saw, they experienced. What they experienced? Devatma sakti sagunaviriniguram. It is practicing the method of meditation, they realize that being, that divine being who is the God of religion, the self of all philosophy, and energy of the science. So this self-contemplation understood that being, that reality, there is some being which is called, they are not saying Brahman or Atman, but that reality is eternal substance, which is named in all religion as God, Ishwar, Allah, all these names are given. The self of philosophy and energy of the science. It is the source of all understanding and who exists in as the self-luminous power in everyone. In everyone, all of us, it is that reality which is existing, self-luminous. He is shining, everything shines. What we do not know, but there's something inside which I don't see. But that light shines through my every moment of my life. No, every breathing is supported by that eternal light and consciousness. Who is the source of our understanding? You think. By whose power you think? You meditate. What is the power behind your power of meditation? Source of intellect, source of our emotions, source of our will, desire. I will do this, I won't do this. Who is that behind? What is the power behind working? Who is the one without a second? And that is the one, that power is only one supplying all of us in diverse ways. And who presides over all the causes of all these questions of our understanding, of our emotions, of our is the cause of all. And that is beginning with time and ending with the individual soul who had been incomprehensible because of the limitations of their own intellect. Intellect cannot grab it, but the intellect is guided by that power. What is that? And that is the one absolute truth. And then there are two things, the conscious subject and the unconscious object. Master and the dependent are both unborn. Now, after though two things are there, one is, as we know, one is matter and another is consciousness. But from our stage, when you rise above, then these two become one. There is no matter. Matter is an appearance. It is only consciousness. So that will be the understanding. And these both are unborn. Unborn in the sense matter, looked as a matter, is born, but it is born from what? The real source is the unborn absolute Satchidananda consciousness. So who is engaged bringing about the relation between enjoyer and the enjoyment is unborn. Huh? So he is the bringer of the relationship of the enjoyer and who is connecting with the object and external and internal. That is the same energy which is making this. And when all these three are realized as Brahman, that the material perceiver, perceiving, and the knowledge through which we get it, all three are one. That is called the real knowledge of Brahman. So, when all these three are realized as Brahman, the self becomes infinite. This small self, which is tiny existence, tiny feeling that I am this body and mind, it takes a turn and feels that I am that absolute and infinite, universal and free from the senses of agency. But a beautiful message. In our duality, we see there is conscious object and unconscious matter. Eh? The master and the dependent. This world is like that. They are both, they are coming from where? The same unborn eternal reality. And when it is engaged in action, in bringing about a relationship between enjoyer and enjoyable, enjoyed, the three. That means enjoyer, enjoyed, and the object of enjoyment. All are one. That is when one sees unity in diversity. There is nothing but one. That knowledge comes. And that is the universally, the little self which we are now, they can raise their consciousness into the unborn, eternal, absolute reality. The small self becomes infinite. Sima becomes Ashim. Yeah, yeah.
Is that how it's translated exactly? Is that to say enjoyer, enjoyment? Is that's in the
The Bhokta, Bhoktri, this in the second line I'm not reading the whole. Bhokta is I am enjoying. I am Bhokta, I am the enjoyer. Bhoggo. Bhoggo means what I am enjoying. That is the object, subject, object. And Orthojukta, how it connects these two. There is ice cream, and it's I am sitting here, ice cream is there. Huh? These two things will not mean anything. Unless the yoga, union, it comes to your tongue, then it makes a sense of connection. But all these three, though three, but in the eye of wisdom, is the expression of one in three. That is the main theme. Anantascha Atma Vishwarupo Hyakarta. This Atma becomes Ananta, limitless. This tiny, puny I, crying and weeping in everyday suffering and pleasure and pain, miserably, hopelessly, at the mercy of everyone, they feel that I am infinite. That experience will come. What a grand result. End result is such a grand success of knowing I am infinite. That I am that. I quote the verse. I do not know who has given this verse. It is offered to Rabindranath Tagore or somebody. It says, then what happens? That all the doors of this life, that means what are the doors? Eyes, ears, or all the senses. এই জীবনের যত না দুয়ার ছিল সব দ্বার খুলে তুমি দাঁড়ালে হেসে. You stand in front of all the senses. I see through the eyes you, I hear your voice, I taste, tongue, touch, everything is you, you. Chininu, and then I understood. This is the very first, same verse. Chininu, I now recognize myself. I used to think I'm a puny, tiny creature, subject to criticism, subject to dashing, pushing, crying, weeping, just a lost tiny insect in the world even, no? I now understood. Chenin Muhammad, I could recognize myself. Ajara, I have no old age. Amara, I have no death. Bhuma, infinite. When? When I merged my identity with you, O Lord. So what a grand success then. This is the goal of life. Our life is not for crying and weeping and dying. Life is for realizing this truth and to raise our consciousness into that. That is that oneness. And that is the theme of this Upanishad. Now, the 10th verse we read, this is the preamble. Now, we are going to the reading today. Few verses I will read, run on, and revision will be over then. So, the next 10 verse says, matter is perishable. But God, to us, when you start our spiritual sadhana, it is matter, it is consciousness. You must have to make this distinction. It is rejectable. Consciousness cannot be rejected. Matter has changes. Matter has come in a time. It will be destroyed in another time. That consciousness have no end, no beginning. It has never been, no one can destroy. So kshara, pradhanam, aksharam, hara. Matter is perishable, but imperishable is God. God the absolute and immortal. He, the only God, rules over the perishable matter and individual souls. That one God, here God, you can say Saguna Brahma, because you are talking about, otherwise you said Brahman. When you say matter, then the matter is, there is creator of the matter is God. What is God? What is Saguna Brahma? That consciousness which permeates everywhere, but it has no beginning, no end, but it has the qualities of rulership, creation, destruction, absorption, sustenance, giving all types of varied manifestation. So that is the perishable matter. Imperishable is the Atman. And he, the only God, he rules over the perishable matter and individual soul. Who controls all the souls in the world? It is the that God, and then in the normal language we say, God is the creator God. Eh? He creates everything, sustains everything, destroys everything. So that is the perishable matter and individual soul. All is controlled by one God. Yes?
I have a question. Is matter actually perishable or is it just constantly changing?
Perishable, whatever that is constantly changing, that is in our views. As we see you, are you not changing? Perishable. Everything is created in the world. When it comes, it has 6 changes. That's the perishable nature. Asti jayate bardhate viparinamate apakshyate mrityu. Anything born has 6 changes. Born, existence, past existence. It comes in the manifestation. Asti jayate bardhate. It grows. Viparinamate. It turns in the, rises to the bloom of youth, then decays, no? Apakshyate, gradually decaying. Old age and this and that. Then Mrityu, one day, boom, is gone, dead. So this is the matter. But the soul which is there inside, it does not die. That is the question, philosophical question. Some may say no, it dies. Some may say not dying. And what is the soul? These are all another question. So individual souls means which transmigrates, comes, develops, and goes. It's a round and round it goes on. So this is the two things. One, perishable matter is controllable. Individual soul is controllable. But who controls? It is the Satchidananda Brahman. You cannot say Satchidananda Brahman does anything. He has no power to control. No power, no question. There is only one. Who will control whom? Got the point? Do you get the point? If you say it is absolute Brahman, there is no one to control, nothing to be controlled. One, only one. So who will there is only one, there is no two. So who to control, who will control? So that's why one step down is called God. He comes with a Maya and separates from that creative force is within him. The ruling power is within him. God rules the world, no? Anything. And what this he rules this imperishable object? No, imperishable cannot be controlled. Is beyond control. But whatever is in the level of control, that is perishable. An individual soul falls into that category. And the soul doing this journey again and again, get tired and lost, then one day say, I renounce everything. And then shoot back to his own home. And then he is free. And if this soul which was crying, he smiled at him. Oh, what a delusion. I had such dream-like thing that I was bound anytime. I was crying sometime. What a nonsense. I am eternally free. Who tells me that I was bound anytime? So that's the freedom. Actually, it's a mental thing. This creation, destruction, and our everyday, whatever is going through, and that's why it's called a dream. It changes every day, until we know that is one. So long is the distinction. Yatra itara itaram pashyati, itara itaram sinoti, itara itaram jigrati, tad alpam, tad martam. So long you see itara itaram, you are separate, I am separate. Sinoti, I hear you, I am hearing, you are talking. Itara itaram sinoti, jigrati, pashyati, I am eating, you are eating. So this duality. Tad martam, tad alpam, tad martam. That is limited, that has a death. One time it will die. So that is the duality. The duality will totally dissolve in that experience of oneness. So then perishable, and when you say that you are a soul, then somebody controls our soul. You are a body. Its body is controlled by so many things. Temperature, high temperature, low temperature, ice, snowfall. It all affects our body system. You eat something, it disturbs the body. You would sometimes you fast, it is one way. So all these changes happen because it is controlled by some other items. But the Atman is not to be controlled by anyone. The soul is also subject to control. Our desires, our passions, our expectations, all these are driving our human personality like a crazy guy, no? Destroying our inner peace. We have no control over anything because they are controlling me. Bhogana bhukta vayameva bhukta. I think that I am enjoying some food. No, be careful. You are enjoying the food today. The food will enjoy you tomorrow. Is it not? Normally, in our there is someone prepares a chai and then tempt, will you take? Some are very intelligent, they didn't fall in, no. But some of us fall into trap and then say, hey, one day I liked it, another day I liked it, the third day you like it, then liking will like you. Liking you, hey, where is chai today? See, already it has entered here. First of all, you said no. That's why you are the master. You thought you are the master. But when you go, you fall into the trap, bhogana bhukta, you bhog, enjoy, relish it. Second day, little more. And third day, little more. And you do not know, unconsciously, one day you feel, Ari, where is the tea today? They were not habituated with that. I was never habituated. Now I told no, because it is making me a slave of this. So this is the point. That's it. But this comes from perishable, because it cannot give us eternal joy. And the soul is also craving for such thing is perishable. It gets sometimes lost from the real nature of divinity, and we are all lost our kingdom. Huh? And we are fallen yogis, no? Here? Do you agree? We are fallen yogis, means the yoga, union with the divine, That's the source of all infinite light and consciousness. We are fallen from that level. But that when you know our nature, tune to that, and duality vanishes, then only one is free. So this is the theme of this Upanishadic teaching. So perishable matter and individual soul, they are all controlled by God. Ultimately, God. By meditating on Him, the God, Saguna Brahma, by uniting with Him and by becoming one with Him, there is cessation of all illusion. In the end, a life's journey has been designed that way. We are in bondage. We see perishable and imperishable. We know perishable. We have heard about imperishable reality. I am a soul traveling through this cycle of birth and death and suffering and misery and pleasure and pain and all this honor and dishonor and all these things going on, controlled by someone. Some people say, I don't believe in God. You need not have to say God, but you believe some power is behind the control of all us. Why we are not free? Who is making us slave of the world? Why we take things seriously in life? Accepting God, accepting that truth. Because we are controlled by our passion. It has come from what? Three gunas. And the three gunas are what? Tama, Rajas, and Sattva. And it is driving everyone in the cycle. So long you are the three gunas, you are in bondage. So that's the perishable. Imperishable, Nishtrayi Guna. Go beyond three gunas. Gunas cannot touch you. So there is no controller, no controlled. So that is the goal of life. And how to reach that? Upanishad gives Kasya Vidyanat. You have to meditate on that, contemplate on that. This is the perishable, this is the imperishable. This is the controlled, this is the controller. But beyond this controller control, the soul and the matter, beyond that both, there is that consciousness. That is me. Dhanat, Vidyanat, Jujunat, Tattva, thinking that I am that pure self. So meditating on that God, Lord, that's why Sagun Upasana is very important. People think that Nirgun Upasana is very easy, and I don't care for any worship in the Pratika and Pratima. Pratika means
Image.
symbols and symbologies. Symbols, without symbol, no one cannot think of God. What is God for us? Okay, you don't like Rama, Krishna, Christ, Buddha. Okay, you don't like. You like Durga, Kali, this and oh, you don't like. Okay, what do you like? I like to think God infinite. Make an infinite of your idea of your infinite. Close your eyes and think of infinite. What can you do? How far you have gone? Only few qubits. 1 mile. Can you imagine 1 mile distance? And you can do 2 mile, 5 mile, 100 mile, 1000 mile. Go make a whole hemisphere. That's your infinity. So long the mind is working, you cannot make that infinity. So how to go? By the controller who is controlling this, and through prayer, to meditation, to contemplation, think of day and night and become like that. That's why in our initiation mantra or guru gives us a form. You think of that day and night, what will happen? You will be transformed into that. Your mind will be cast into the mold of that ideal. Your mind will be molten like that. If it is a hard thing, you cannot make a mold of a hard clay. You have to make it moist, no? Very soft. And then put into the cast. The mind should be softened. Not Raja's mind or Tamas mind will work. Mind should be Sattvika mind. And that mind is poured into the cast of Ramakrishna. The Ramakrishna image will come out. Then you will forget that you are no more. It is Ramakrishna only. And then going to that far, it is so close to the absolute Brahman, you will penetrate that. level spontaneously. So Upanishad gives this hint here. It says the matter is perishable, and God who controls is imperishable and immortal. That's the ultimate truth. But God is not God. God is coming from Brahman. One step to go. But first we, a stepping stone, we think here is a lofty height. And then thinking of that day and night, it says, by meditating on Him, whatever your symbol or symbology, meditating on Him, but how? Thinking it is infinite. If you meditate on any divine image and you think that it's a limited something, then you will reach the limited. But you have to understand that every meditation mantra guides us that it is the representative of the infinite Brahman. Every meditation mantra. It is mother worship or it is the worship of God, and in Hindu religious practices, it is all Satchidananda Brahman in another way. So meditating on Him, by uniting with Him and by becoming one with Him, there is the cessation of all illusion in the heart. 11th verse, that's also very important. It says, with the knowledge of God, what will happen? If you reach that flight, all the fetters will fall off. With waning of ignorance, birth and death will cease. Going beyond the consciousness of the body, by meditating on Him, one reaches a third state, that is the universal lordship. You become the Lord of, from this level to God level first. Swami Vivekananda said that what is our human life for? For God realization. But what? We make a journey. What is the journey? He said that to lift ourselves from animal life to human, human to divine. And the divinity will be one lifted beyond controller and control, that is Satchidananda. Swamiji said in very simplistic language, you are a cow. Cow means this material world, you are living on matter and you are an individual, small, tiny soul. হইয়াছেন দেবতা, হইয়াছেন মানুষ. Now you have become aware that you are not only the flesh and bone, you are devata, you are here, effulgent nature is here within. And ultimately, this human nature will cross that and you will be God yourself, devata, ultimately. And that, if you reach that flight, it melts automatically, your identity melts, and you become the ruler and lord of the universe. But some people don't like that. Those who want to rule, they become gods and goddesses. Indra, Chandra, Varuna, in Hindu ideas, there are different gods who rules for a longer period. And but some transcend that level. I don't want lordship or ownership of. Kathopanishad says, Nachiketa was tempted by his guru. Why are you asking for higher truth? Come, you will get heaven. You will get all this fun and joy and dancing and singing and all these things. Come here. And then boy said, sir, all these things are good things. Let it be with you. But give me the knowledge I am seeking for. So that is the boldness needed to cross that level. So here he is saying it can be reached that point by meditating on Him, going beyond the consciousness of the body. One reaches the third state, that is the universal lordship. Universal lordship. Fourth state, Turiya, which is beyond lordship and anything. There is no Lord and no one to be controlled, no one is controller. This is all duality, switches there. All desires are satisfied, all his desires are satisfied, he becomes one without a second. Is it okay? 3 states. One, the external nature, Jagrat Sapna Susupti Turiya. This world of appearance is now. If we can, by meditation, withdraw from this now with waking mind, go to a dream state. What is the dream state? Meditation is your dream state. What do you do in meditation? You close your eyes and you visualize some divine thing. When that you go and merge into that divine, you forget the outside world and you live in a world of existence. What is that existence? Your Ishta, your God, your beloved is there, and you are absorbed in the presence of that. And then move. You get lost into it, then only He remains and you gone. He then in a form even, maybe. Still now he or she remains in the form. And gradually that also breaks in the fourth state. All a description stops there. It is that which is that. Who will say? Who is meditating? Who is meditation? What is meditator? Meditation, meditator, and object all collapse. That is the called level of freedom. That is the fear, the state, imperishable nature of ours. So this verse number 11 and 10 are very important. That with the knowledge of God, only Sri Ramakrishna said, by any means try to realize God first and take care of other things later on. Only concentrate on God realization. And all the fetters will follow. With the waning of ignorance, but death. With the waning of ignorance, but death grows, and waning of ignorance, but death ceases. When it rises, no? Going beyond the consciousness of the body by meditating on Him, one reaches the third state, the universal lordship, and all his desires are satisfied, and he becomes one without a second. Now, this is a very beautiful verse, very much quoted in different places. Etas geyam netam eva atma sangastham natat param veditavyam hi kanchit bhakta bhugam preditarang chamatva sarvam praktang trividham brahmametat etas geyam. This is to be known. This truth is to be known. Etas gain. If you know as eternal existing in one's own self, nityam evo atma, where will you find? It is in your heart here. Nityam, all the time it is here. Nityam evo atma sangastam. In your atman, it is staying there. It is here all the time. This moment it is here. And you know it, etas gayam. This is this is to be known. Gayam means object of knowledge. Our object of knowledge is this, which is already here. This is a mystery. We are searching for God everywhere, but God is sitting in our heart. Mai ko kaha dhudo bando, mai tu tera paas mo. Are, oh, why are you searching? Where are you searching me? I am so close into your heart. Na hai mai mandir masjid mein. I am neither be found in mandir, temple or in mosque, or this holy place or this. It is in your heart I am sitting over there. So the Lord God is here in our heart, knowing thus, not seeing God there. Dualistic religion starts that way from there, and it comes closer to in. But Vedanta teaches why going there. Try to find here. That's why our Vedantic meditation and sadhana pantha is think of God here first. It is here in your heart. Unless it is here, it is not there. Outside is impossible to see something. Unless in my mind, that thought is not there. I don't see that thought outside. Children have no mind like us. They don't see the world in the same way we see. A small child maybe with a doll, his doll world is all true. Doll is smiling, doll is today becoming hungry, and tomorrow he's have a temperature, and is it, we may smile at that, but we also let that period of our life that was so valid for us. So we live according to our mental state. Therefore, this is the condition that Atman is here. Unless we see it here, we cannot project outside. How much big talks we talk. That's why Vedanta teaches do sadhan. Sadhan karna chahiye manwa. Bhajan karna chahiye. Prem lagana chahiye manwa. प्रीत करना चाहिए भजन करना चाहिए love God प्रेम करना चाहिए love God and then dive deep into it sadhana spiritual practice very important what is spiritual practice meditate concentrate see the divine in you that's why all meditators close their eyes what they do they should focus here and feel that that consciousness is the root of all consciousness in the whole universe. There is only one absolute reality and consciousness that is everywhere, no? And that is first to be searched. Ramakrishna said that you can find the what you call the Lord where? He gave the example the governor can stay in everywhere, no? But you want to meet governor, where do you go? You don't go to the Hollywood Boulevard to find God, Lord, the mayor there. But there is a mayor's office. You go to the mayor's office, you can find the mayor. To the governor's house, you go to the governor's house. And then inquire there, he is mostly there present. But this governor, when it can go, he is not there. But this world governor can be everywhere. But his manifestation is more in your heart. He is everywhere, but some places he is manifested more. Ramakrishna said that God resides in your heart and go to seek the governor in governor house. So similarly, try to meditate in the heart, that pure, resplendent, the joy, embodiment of bliss and consciousness. So think of your divine Ishtadevata as consciousness, as a condensed joy. That's why we meditate and come out, our face becomes dull. Because we meditated on dullness. Really, if you think of a joyful, cheerful thing inside, your face will be smiling, no? Or if your meditation was dull meditation, your face will be dull. That's why think that it is the source of all the your Ishta you are meditating is the concentrated, concrete concentrated form of Satchidananda. Namo, Namo, Prabhu is there. Our song is there. You're the substratum of my mind and Vachana speech and Ekvatar, only one substratum. And you are Chit Ghanakai. Chit Ghanakai. Swami Vivekananda referred to Ramakrishna as Chit Ghanakai. Concentrated Ghana, Chit, consciousness. About Ma Kali, what he says? Majar Ananda Mai. They're calling Ma. You call Ma, Baba, whatever you call. You call God. I care little. But do you think Majar Ananda Mai? Ma, you're meditating on the mother. Who is she? Anandamai. See the embodiment of Ananda, absolute bliss and joy. Seki Nira Nande Thake. You think of mother, your mother is all Ananda, and you are thinking of mother, and you are Nirananda. Your dad is billionaire, and you are a beggar. How can it be? You inherit the property. You cannot be. So you have to think that you inherit that power of God, the divine, which is all pure, all joy, all love, all peace, all harmony. So think that way, your Ishtadevata, not just closing your eyes and coming with a morose mood coming out. And some people get really angry after meditation. And I heard that they create trouble for their family also because he comes out of meditation. Be careful. Meditation will give joy to others. A person coming from meditation, no. Actually, it is that you really have a little touch of meditation. You can see, go out the same trees, plants. You will see that everyone is smiling with you. What the human being? And if here is dullness, you see, oh, today everything is dull. So this is the point to get it here. That's why it is said that as a result of meditation, the enjoyer and the enjoyed and the power which brings about that enjoyment, all are declared to be the three aspects of one Brahman. That means that is Brahman itself. So in three names we are saying that it is enjoyer, enjoyed, and the power of enjoyment. Three things are all one and absolute. 13th verse. Fire is not perceived in its cause, the fire stick, till it is ignited by percussion. There is a matchstick, no? In the matchbox, there is so much power, fire. But unless you strike, you don't get the fire. Similarly, the subtle essence of fire, nevertheless, is not absent in the stick, for fire can be obtained from the source, the fire stick, by striking against. Therefore, the state of Atman before and after realization is like that of fire. State of Atman, but it needs to be struck. Matano, that's called the rubbing. In early fire, by striking to, what do you call the stones? Striking, hitting, and then fire. So you need that striking. And what is the striking? Dhanam, nirmathanena. By meditation, repeatedly thinking, or your Ishta mantra, repeating the Ishta mantra, Japa mantra, repeating, then the fire will ignite, which is potential. The Atman is here now and here. At this point, how good we are or bad we are, but the truth of the matter is that Atman is here and now. As in the matchstick, there is so much of fire, but it is not visible. You keep it in the table, it will be. And for years, it will be like that. But bring out and strike it. And sometimes we strike, but it does not come out. It is so wet. The stick is so much damp. You strike and there's nothing coming. Strike and nothing coming. Strike, nothing coming. Huh? But you have to dry it, make it dry. And dry from all the passions and lower instincts of our human personalities. The drying us from all impurities. Then you become dried, and then in one strike, it will flame come up. So whole life is preparation. Light comes in one strike. But preparation is so long. That's why it's called sadhana. And that sadhana, that spiritual practice should be inside. Nah? And next verse will say. So, by meditating on pranava, the Atman is perceived perfectly manifest. Now, Atman is perceived manifestly in the body, but it was there in the latent state even before realization. So, with this Om mantra, Vedantic meditation, this Om is better, and our other mantras add some bijas, etc., or even Saguna Brahma form. But here Vedanta says you chant the mantra Om and then try to feel that Om is this Jagrat Sabna Susupti Turiya. All included, nothing excluded. That's why Purnamada Purnamidam. Everything is Purna. You extract Purna out of that, still it remains Purna. That means it is all the time the same. whether you know it or you don't know. Huh? Jano or nahi jano, tum Rama. Huh? You know or you do not know, you are Rama. Whether you know or you do not know, you deny. You are denying because of your ignorance. To deny, you need that consciousness. Is it not? I do not know. Is it not a knowledge? I know that I do not know. That is also knowledge. So where do you stand? Everywhere is knowledge. And that knowledge is called consciousness. So, next, how to do it? 14 verse. Making one's body the lower piece of wood. Rubbing the wood, no? Sadeham araning kritva. Making one's body the lower piece of wood. And pranavam chuttararunim. And pranavam, this omkara, that is the upper piece of the wood. And practicing churning in the form of meditation. Sit for meditation and repeat Om, 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 Om in your mind and think Om is A, Ma and Bindu. A is the world and U is the interspace, Ma is the heaven and heavenly abodes and dot beyond description. Expand your idea. Om, Om, and do that by rubbing. Rubbing means repeat it continuously, thinking like that. কি করবে? Churning the form of meditation. One should realize God as one would find out something hidden. Huh? As we find something hidden thing, the hidden fire which is within us, the spiritual fire, it will be ignited into us. And that we talk in different languages, what is called Kundalini Yoga, this or that, rising and building the Kundalini up and plexus and all these talks. The philosophy talks about that. Simply Vedanta says, just that's the pure form of spiritual practice. Simple to think that your body is the ground, the lower wood. Imagine yourself. And the upper one is the mantra. You got the mantra, Guru mantra. Rub that, rub that, rub that. And think your mantra means what? Not dull chanting of the mantra. But you have to think the meaning of the mantra is Aum Aum. It's beyond visible, invisible, and beyond conception. All included that which cannot be described. That is the truth here. And all mantra repeats that and feel that, feel that, feel that. Continue, 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 continue. Then it will flash like that, like a striking light. Ramakrishna said, a dark room for 1,000 years. If you want to bring light, what do? Bring one mastic, dry mastic, strike, one stroke, and see the room is lighted. So our life, dark life of ignorance, of suffering, and pleasure, and pain, and this duality, it will collapse in one strike. But that one last strike needs so much preparation because mastic is too much soaked in water. It needs to be sun-dried and then fanned or like that. 4 yogas are to be better. At least here we are talking about meditation, Vedantic meditation. So this gives us a hope. Next time is up. 5 minutes are there. Oh, let me finish it. This beautiful verse which is very significant. Tile sutailam nundadiniva sarpir apasrata saram saranishu chagni evamatmani atmani grijhati aso sattenainam tapasa yonupashyati sarvabhyapinamatmanam kshire sharpidivorpitam atmavidya tapomulam tad brahma upanishadam param. That's the end of this first chapter. As oil in the sesame seed, you bring sesame seed. Do you see the oil there? No. Sesame seed you bring, it is sesame seed. But as butter in the curd, do you see the butter in the mixing with the curd? as water in underground springs. There is a huge supply of water underground spring. Do you see that? You see the only external, external, external. As fire in the wood. You see, this is the piece of wood. Do you see the fire here? No. These are no, no, no. You don't see the seed in the sesame seed, the oil. You don't see the butter in the curds. You don't see this underground spring, what is the source of water in the spring which is coming out. As fire in the wood, we see the wood, you don't see the fire. Even so, this self, big S, capital S, this divine, this eternal light and consciousness, even so the self is perceived in the small self. Small self, this table is a piece of wood, but I don't see fire. So this self is so small, but it has in it that fire of infinity that permeates everywhere. One feels that I am that infinite, I am that, Tattamasi, Aham Brahmasmi. I am Atma Brahma. This Atman is Brahman, the Absolute. That power it has, only it is to be brought out. As the fire is to be brought out by rubbing, as the oil is to be brought out by churning and crushing. Our ego crushing, our emotion crushing, our all intelligence, we are proud, all crush, then oil will come out. The sweetness and love will come out. He who by means of truthfulness, this is spiritual life, Indian spirituality will crush you. No chance of escape. Sing, dance and get caught. That type of business is not in Ram Vedanta. That's why Vedanta followers, very few followers can follow Vedanta. Oh my God. Every religion will give some touch of little bit sweetness and rasgulla, sometimes sweet, and all this ice cream and all this. It is dry. He will say, by means of truthfulness, self-control, concentration, looks again and again for this self, which is all pervading like butter contained in the milk. In which rooted is the self-knowledge and meditation. He becomes that supreme Brahman, the destroyer of ignorance. So you become that. What a beautiful end of the journey. This is the goal. These few verses are very important. We sometimes feel in our spiritual life, nothing is happening. And what am I doing? It is not the problem of God. It is not the problem of the Atman. It is my idiocy. Idiosyncrasy. I don't want to see God. I want not to do anything. I really am a fool, an idiot. Think this way. It is hidden here. Unfold it. And the sages are saying, I have seen. You can see that. Again and again, open declaration, Ramakrishna, touching and giving that experience. Still, I'll say, I am a Mahagyani. I'm a great, knowledgeable person. I don't believe in God. I don't think about it. That it is to be tested. Life is short. Time is passing. To make the life beautiful and grand, follow this path of think that there is no show of oil in the sesame seed, but there is oil. There is no touch of fire in the firewood, but there is fire. Similarly, no show of infinity in my little petty body-mind complex, but there is the infinite source of all divine entity here. And see the whole world transformed by that way. So here we end the first chapter. Thank you all. Om Shanti Shanti Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ram Krishna Panamastu. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Gospel reading by Matri Prana. Okay, good. So what we read, that same truth will come again and again. So there is so much hope, no? Hmm? Or should we cry? Or should we smile? We cry because what a fate that such a treasure is here and I do not know. Huh? There is a saying that what a ill fate of mine, and that you, the Lord of all source of joy and bliss, is so close to me, and I am totally ignorant about it. So really, it is here, all is here. Everyone's heart. It is so much source of infinite joy is there. Don't meditate here, don't meditate here, don't go there. Of course, if you are advanced soul, you can go. But better not to go there. Practice, practice, practice. This is a Ramakrishna Gospel replete with this idea. Swami Brahmananda saying, practice, 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 practice. This is not a myth. This is a realization. And we can really benefit out of it. We think we are very intelligent. That's why most problem is that too much intelligent people don't understand anything. Too many scholars. As scholar you are, then you have many problems of your intellectual pride. I am an intellectual person. Intellect does not do anything. Intellect clears the path, takes you to the light, it takes you to a certain point. But intellect is nothing. Intellect rather confuses, rather to love the divine within. That is the way to get out. But path, not at the cost of one for the other, but both should be synchronized in life. Jnana Mishra Bhakti. Bhakti, devotion, mixed with this knowledge and wisdom. That should be coupled together so that all doubts will be less and journey will be smooth and joyful. Understand that spiritual life is joy. If you do spiritual practice and your face becomes gloomy and gloomy and gloomy, then be careful. Some problem is there. Go to some doctor. Is enjoyment enjoying us the impression that an object is the bestower of bliss, clearing away the misconception by recognizing that which is there, pervading enjoyment and enjoyed. Is enjoyment enjoying us? The impression is enjoyment enjoying us means what I mean, the enjoyment of the sense enjoyment. What we enjoy through the senses. Senses, because they are obstacles, they don't allow us to get the full light. Here is light, and there is a glass. The glass is diffusing the intensity of the light because there is a glass level. And if it is a darker level, it will be dark. But light is here. So, when I try to find this anand through the Vishaya, only sense object, then that is too little we get out of it. So $1,000 you have to somebody donated you $1,000. You get maybe 0.5 cent because it is getting diffused to the senses. Senses can take you only this much because it is so limited. And that joy is so vast. So the infinite joy manifesting through our sense perception, this what we enjoy, that is so limited. But if one practices this and understands that every joy is the same joy, there is no true joy. Ramakrishna said again and again, Vishayananda, Bhajanananda, and Brahmananda. Not these three Ananda are different, but one is covered with so much dark layer that the light does not come out this side. You get a little touch of good food, only tongue, touch the tip, goes down here. Bas. Your experience of joy. I had got good sweets. How long? That's why you have to keep in your tongue for a long time to taste this way, that way, that way, that way. Otherwise, you take a big rasgulla and put it inside, it goes out. And how much you can take? Your tummy is small. You cannot take infinite. I will take 10 tons of rasgulla. I said, no, it is not possible. So you cannot, to this mouth you cannot do. But in your, that's why Vishaya Ananda is the same Ananda fell through the senses and the sense objects. They are barring our experience. But this cover is lifted, one layer, another layer, another layer. Then comes Bhajana Ananda. You sing some good bhajan, singing, or singing in the name of God and get absorbed and absorbed and absorbed. That's what's Ananda. Much better Ananda. Because without the support of external thing, external object, sense object, but it's internal sense object. Withdrawing. And then deeper and deeper, deeper you go, joy and more joy and more joy and more joy, and ultimately Brahmananda. So, from the beginning, we should have to be very careful that joy, but we get entangled into this sense enjoyment. Nothing wrong. I don't say it is wrong. It's perfectly okay. But tell me, if you get, once you get it, what happens to the next time? Are you satisfied with that? You want again? You want again? And you want again? And you don't know one day? You cannot live without that. Then the entangle has caught me in the neck. I thought there is a pride, so what is called McDonald's food is come, and I like it and I take it. Okay. And then cholesterol is going, okay. And then he said, oh my God, but I cannot get out. I love it. I will have to have it one day. So this is the problem. But this Ananda can be deified and only in a sense that it is the same Ananda, limited. We can find unlimited also. That is by dhyana nirmathanena, by meditation. Very sincere meditation on Guru have told, following that instruction, deeply involved into practice, actually it will clear our mind. And best is 4 yogas. Thank you all. Good that you could come.
Maharaj, if we are fallen yogis, it is because we are falling in love.
We are all fallen yogis, means we are all Sarupato, in our essential nature we are divine. But we have forgotten that divinity, that's why we are fallen. And we are living in this miserable life of suffering and pain. Where is joy in this life? Everyday fear, anxieties, worries, health. Old people are thinking day and night, cholesterol, blood pressure, high pressure, kidney, this. Young people thinking of job, money, wealth, high relationship, friend, this, that, this relationship didn't work, that relationship, and then going in another. All are crazy. People are running. So where is the peace? Some are fools running after religion to find God. Some are fools running after the drinking something will make them happy. Some are going to drug thinking that will make them happy. My God, no one has succeeded. Except spiritual people. Thank you all.